This podcast is brought to you by VinZero. VinZero pioneers solutions and services to the AEC and manufacturing industries to support net zero targets. Visit vinzero.com to learn more about how organisations design, build and solve through digitalisation. From VinZero to you, welcome to our Think Future podcast series. Each week we'll share conversations with industry leaders from around the world to find out how they're thinking future. Subscribe to VinZero Think Future for access to more episodes, interviews and profiles. In this week's VinZero Think Future podcast episode, we turn to India, where two entrepreneurial companies are revolutionising our built environment. In part one, we hear from Abhimanyu Singh, the founder and CEO for Hexpressions, providing affordable, fast, modular and sustainable homes to all sections of society using honeycomb panel, a game changer for affordable housing. Then, stay with us as 24-year-old Kunjpreet Arora, co-founder and CEO of Angirus, talks about their Wricks innovation, an environmentally friendly, climate-resistant alternative brick that is stronger, lighter weight, more waterproof and more importantly, a brick that can be manufactured at a less expensive rate than traditional bricks. Abhimanyu Singh is the founder and CEO of Hexpressions, a product service innovation providing affordable, fast, modular and sustainable homes to all sections of society using new age sustainable construction material, composite paper honeycomb panel. Innovated out of Jaipur, India, this new age wonder material has the capacity to replace traditional construction materials and reduce the carbon footprint on the planet. Welcome to the program, Abhi.
Hello all.
Abhi, since completing your Master of Design, you've innovated a world-first material capable of revolutionising affordable housing for your region and beyond. How was it that you embarked on the Hexpressions journey?
So, since I was doing my first master's, I have been introduced with this wonderful material called composite paper honeycomb panel. And I have always been curious and I have always loved paper. So I wanted to learn more and know about this material, this wonderful material. So I learned the art of making honeycomb with the gentleman and then learned and explored this material. And because I'm an architect by profession, so my obvious attention was towards making homes. And when I saw this wonderful material has the capacity to replace polystyrene, and it has all the properties of a building material could have or should have, I thought it can be a game changer in this building industry. So that's why I started innovating this wonderful material.
So can you explain the concept of honeycomb for our listeners?
So the concept of honeycomb is very, very simple. It is made up of recycled paper, and the geometry of honeycomb is a hexagon geometry. That hexagon geometry is developed by pasting alternate layers of paper. When you paste a lot of papers and when you expand it, the internal geometry which comes out is hexagon. And hexagon is the most stable form because we all know that triangle is the most stable form and hexagon has 6 triangles. So geometrically, it is one of the most stable material and the most stable geometry. So that's why honeycomb is 90% air, and that hexagon geometry gives it the strength and the durability what it has.
And in the case of Hexpressions, the honeycomb component is then encased with an outer wall. What is that outer wall made of?
It's a prefabricated material. We call it a sandwich panel. So the internal structure of the panel is honeycomb that is sandwiched between two face materials. When I say face material, this face material can be cement board, it can be agri panels made up of agricultural waste, it can be magnesium oxide boards, it can be calcium silicate board, and for that matter, this panel is completely customizable that can be used for internal as well as external walling system and roofing system. So customization is the key in this case, that we can customize as per the project purpose, budget, and the climatic conditions. And now we are exploring another wonderful material which is made up of recycling PET bottles. So that's the next version of our material which is coming out very soon.
So how does the Hexpressions solution work in a practical sense?
So basically, the traditional construction is really, really expensive and it produces huge carbon footprint on the planet. So construction industry is the biggest contributor of CO2 emissions. If I talk about numbers, it's about 40%. So we need to reduce this carbon footprint and also make the construction affordable. So we thought when we can replace the traditional walling system using our system, and our system is an off-site construction. So we prefabricate everything in the factory. We bring it on site and assemble it on site. So basically, we are reducing time, labor, efforts, and also we are making it more sustainable. So technically speaking, it's a traditional partition walling system that is a non-structural system. So you need to have a structure in place, either a concrete beam structure or a metal structure. Once the structure is in place, we can come on board and can change the entire skin of the building using our panels. So basically, it's like taking the construction from on-site to off-site to reduce the carbon footprint.
So, is this what allows it or allows Hexpressions to transform affordable housing?
Yes, definitely. We believe it's a game changer because of its obvious properties that it is fast, it is affordable, it is modular, it is 100% sustainable. It can change the entire face of this construction, specifically housing industry, because world over 1 billion people need homes today, and this number would go up to 2 billion by 2030. And unless we change the methods of construction, unless we make it more sustainable, it is impossible to provide homes to those homeless people. And that's our mission, to provide a permanent shelter to all those homeless people.
So, the structure or the wall system is constructed off site. How long does it take then to actually complete an affordable house from start to finish?
So the model house we have designed for a family of four, that's 20 square meters. That takes about 3 weeks to construct, and the cost of that house is around $7,000 in general.
So, how is the Hexpressions system manufactured?
It's an off-site construction. It's a prefabricated system that we manufacture. We assemble these panels in the factory, and then we transport all these panels on site. And it's like a tongue-in roof system. It's a patented system what we have designed. Our assembly team goes on site and assemble a home for the customer, because it's a patented system. And we have developed three kind of joinery systems that we have patented. And it's like a plug-and-play system. You can install it in a matter of no time. And once the project life cycle is over, we can deconstruct it because it's a modular system. It's a non-structural system, and there are no wastages because it's like plug and play. You can take out and unassemble it.
And the solution's unique to you, and you just mentioned that you've patented that solution. What did that process entail?
So, as I mentioned, paper honeycomb exists as a material, and you cannot patent honeycomb. But we gave paper honeycomb a new direction of using as a construction material. So we got a process patent of using honeycomb in construction panels. That includes sandwiching of the panel, assembly and unassembly on. So that's why for us the process patent was really important. We didn't want a product patent, so that we can secure our overall process and people cannot tweak it or maybe misuse it.
And I know that you've received a lot of acknowledgement within India. Have you received acknowledgement and accolades outside of India?
I'm happy to share that we have received globally over 25 awards, and a couple of them were from India and most of them from outside. Let's say we have won the German Innovation Award, we have won the E-Innovation Award in Switzerland. I got the Royal Academy of London Fellowship. So the list goes on and on. So we have received this kind of recognition from globally, from all over the world. So people know our system and people know our solution for affordable housing.
And with the obvious acknowledgements you have received, then is there a plan to expand your market beyond the current local market?
Yes, we started our focus from India because India is a huge market and the current government has put a target to provide 22 million homes to the homeless people in India. But yes, we have received a very good interest from other geographies also, let's say Southeast Asia. We will be very soon working in Africa, specifically in Ethiopia, and we are ready to go. So that's why we are also exploring some partners in UK also. So I'm sure we'll be working globally very soon.
Well, that's great news for Hexpressions and the built environment. With the increasing lens on resilience for the built environment, how does Hexpressions fare in that regard?
So I would say technically, if we have tested the material in extreme climatic conditions, like from -7 degrees to +50 degrees, so technically we can use it in larger part of this globe. And the material, the technique can withstand all kind of weathering conditions like heavy rainfall or let's say extreme conditions of heat, snow, and everything. It is also good in seismic conditions of areas which are earthquake prone. And because it's paper, so termite is an obvious question which comes into users' mind. So the material is 100% termite resistant. It's fire resistant also, and there are other properties also because, as I mentioned, it's a dry wall system, and we don't use a single drop of water.
Fire resistance is an interesting point. Given a good part of the structure is essentially paper or cardboard, how does that actually work?
So I think whenever we say we are using recycled paper or paper, the first question which comes in the user's mind is fire. How will you tackle fire? So we say in the industry also, if you talk about the hospitality industry, fire standards are very, very high. And we understand this point. And our material is capable of meeting all those conditions. So let's say in general, we have 120 minutes of the fire rating for our panel. That is standard as per the global norms. And we achieve this fire resistant via various ways. First, we treat honeycomb. We have a spray, what we do on honeycomb to make it fire resistant. We also use fire resistant face materials, and also places where the fire properties are, let's say, very, very high, or people need more fire resistant. What we do is fly ash is a building byproduct and it's a waste. So, what we do is because honeycomb is hollow, we take that fly ash from the construction sites and we fill fly ash inside honeycomb. So, that honeycomb becomes a fire rated panel. So let's say places where the fire requirements are very, very high, what we do is every fifth panel becomes a fire rated or fire stopping panel that stops the spreading of fire in case of extreme fire conditions.
So let's talk about the carbon contribution of this product. You've mentioned that it's very, very sustainably made. How does it compare to traditional walling systems?
In terms of climate impact, we are way ahead than the traditional or the contemporary building materials. We are 70% less carbon intensive than the traditional materials. As I mentioned, we call this a dry wall system. We do not use a single drop of water during construction, manufacturing, as well as in assembly. So we reduce the water consumption by 99%, I would say. And to give you an example, when we are constructing a brick wall, 1 square meter of a brick walling system takes 15 liters of water. And you can imagine the amount of water used in a traditional construction. So that's a huge saving on that front. Again, our system is modular, so there is no need to cutting pasting on site. So that's why the construction demolition waste is also very, very less. And 90% of our materials which we use in our panels are sustainable and derived from the sustainable resources, and it has a cradle to cradle end life. So technically we are way ahead than the contemporary materials in terms of climate impact.
And can you share with us some of the use cases that you're currently seeing in India?
Our obvious focus, the biggest focus is on affordable housing for sure. But we are getting very, very good response from the hospitality industry, from hospitals, from factories and commercial places. But I would say for the next 2 years, because the affordable housing market is huge, that will be our focus. But yes, we will keep on experimenting with these other avenues.
And for the current sites that are actually using honeycomb paneling, how are they actually performing?
In terms of the user, our material has amazing properties of thermal and acoustical insulation. So technically, it gives you cover from the outside noise and also the extreme weathering conditions. And as I mentioned, it's a modular system. It takes lesser time. So in all aspects, it's fulfilling the user's need as of now. But yes, we are working on few more versions, which will be better than the basic version that will be announcing very soon.
And so with that in mind, when you think about the areas that you're looking to expand into and you think future about the built environment and the opportunity for your product, Hexpressions, what is it that excites you the most?
So I'm really excited by the things which are happening around the world. People are getting aware of this carbon footprint. They want to reduce it. They want to have very conscious consumption. And slowly that is coming into the construction industry also, because construction industry has always been very, very traditional. They are one of the least, I would say, least innovative in terms of the innovations. So they are slowly adopting this methodology of having an off-site construction, which reduces the overall carbon footprint on the planet. and the buildings also. That's why we have the concept of net zero building is coming so strongly. And if you talk about the COP27 in Egypt also, they have echoed this point of having net zero building so that we can reduce the carbon footprint. And construction industry is the biggest contributor. So it is our moral duty to address that. And we as architects are one of the biggest stakeholders for that.
Well, Abhi, congratulations on a fantastic product innovation for the built environment. I look forward to hearing of your continued success and the rollout of your product elsewhere on the globe, and to seeing you continue to receive some of those great accolades and recognitions that you're receiving to date. Thank you for joining us.
Many, many thanks. Thanks for calling me. Thanks for hearing me.
Are you looking for a digitalisation and net zero partner to help you achieve your goals? Join the thousands of AEC and manufacturing customers globally who have turned to VinZero to start their journey toward a net zero future. With 32 offices around the world, VinZero can connect you to the right technologies and workflow processes so you can maintain your competitive position and increase profitability. VinZero has an industry expert to help you navigate the best pathway forward wherever you are on your digitalisation and net zero journey. Visit VinZero.com to find out more. Kunjpreet Arora is a civil engineer graduate turned entrepreneur. She is the co-founder and CEO of a circular economy startup called Angirus, coming from a construction business background with 2 years of experience in technology development and market research. At just 24 years of age, Kunjpreet has already received countless awards from around the globe, including winning the Asia Pacific Housing Challenge under the Sustainable Consumption Production category from Habitat for Humanity and Switch Asia for her innovation. Replacing traditional clay bricks with an alternative made from 100% waste, the Angirus Wricks product is environmentally friendly and climate resistant, a brick that is stronger, lighter weight and more waterproof, and importantly, a brick that can be manufactured at a less expensive rate. She joins us today to talk about this great innovation. Welcome to the program, Kunjpreet.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm excited to be talking to you and hearing about the exciting innovation of Wricks. So let's start with your journey to becoming a founding partner of Angirus.
Yes. So I come from a place called Udaipur. It's in South Rajasthan in India, and it's a very beautiful place surrounded with lakes, beautiful mountain and valleys. And growing up in this city, I have observed that a lot of people, when they use plastic poly bags or plastic packaging, they end up throwing it near lakeside or in the roadside. And because this single use plastic waste does not have any recycling value, so we thought let's start upcycling and make into some useful value added products that can be utilized into construction industry. And as a curious civil engineering student, we started making some blogs and then tested it, which gave us the very good results. And then we start converted into bricks and paper blocks. So that's how all it started. And we then decided, like, let's not stick to this plastic waste. We also utilize some other industrial construction waste. And then we thought we can take it into the mainstream for utilizing into the mainstream construction projects where it can replace the clay bricks which is currently being used, and it is also one of the largest cause of air pollution in India. So we thought let's start making it into bricks that can actually replace the unsustainable clay bricks in the market.
And Angirus has a vision for building a sustainable future, and there's a story behind why you chose the name Angirus. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so in past there was a saint whose name was Angirus, and he's the person who invented bricks in India, and it was during the Mohenjo-daro era. And because we thought we are coming with a new revolutionary brick in this new era, in this modern era, so why not dedicate the name to the saint Angirus? So that's how we decided to keep the company name after him.
So what's so special about the bricks, or as you call them, the Wricks?
Yes. So this bricks is 30 to 40% stronger than the clay bricks, which is used in the for the construction purposes, making walls. And also the another benefit of this product is that it is damp proof. It does not allow water to pass from one end to another. It saves the other challenges such as water leakage, dampness, efflorescence, and also like being lighter in weight, it reduces the structural weight, reducing the amount of concrete required, the reinforcement required into the making any construction projects. And given these advantages, it can reduce the overall construction cost up to 20%. So these are like few of the benefits that we are able to provide to our customers, which are builders, architects, and contractors.
And what's the process for actually manufacturing the Wricks?
The process is more or like similar to the existing bricks. It's mixing of the raw material and then molding. But there's another thing that we have added into it is melting of the plastic waste. And plastic waste here is acting as a binder, so which binds the other particles into a homogeneous paste, which is then molded into the shape of bricks and other building materials. So we have came up with our own proprietary innovative technology to which does this whole process in three parts, and we make sure that there are no carbon emission that is being produced. And also we have automized the whole technology, the process, that we make sure there's less human interface with the machinery, so that they can also does not feel any gases or any harmful effect. Because given that when they work into the traditional brick kilns, we have also observed that they faces a lot of lungs and heart diseases, and their lifeline reduces because of working into the brick kilns. So we don't want it to make our laborers or workers face the similar issue. So that's why we like design this whole process in a such a way that it does not create any carbon emission, and the process is so enclosed into the machinery that the final product come out, and which is then being collected by the workers.
So it's not just a more environmentally friendly brick, it's also a healthier brick to manufacture.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is the manufacturing process able to be so much more efficient than a traditional clay brick manufacturing process?
Before I tell you our process, I would like to give you the background of the traditional brick kiln scenario. So what happens with them is for making the clay brick, it takes around 5 to maximum 14 days for the whole process, because they need to bake into the with burning, which uses the burning of biomass fuels and coal, and this process take 2 3 days, and then they have to let them dry into the natural sunlight in the atmosphere. So this whole process takes a lot of time, up to 2 weeks. So in our process, it takes 40 minutes to 1 hour, because we don't need to bake it into the kilns, or it does not require to be dried into these under the sunlight or in the atmosphere. So it can be delivered within 1 or 2 days, and it gets ready within a 1 day for its uses and application. And also, walking into the brick kilns, a lot of labor faces heart and lungs diseases. And working into our with our green and Wricks technology, we make sure that those problems are not being faced with by the workers. So these are few of the advantages, but just like fast manufacturing. And also for the clay bricks, it requires a lot of areas, which is around 2 to 4 acres, and to our machinery and our plant, it just requires 7,000 to 10,000 square feet of land. So we are reducing up to 90% of the land use. So in this way, it also reduces their capital cost, machinery cost, and also saves the labor from a lot of health and other issues.
So what are the bricks actually like to work with or build with on a physical basis?
For bricks, it requires similar cement mortar, and it is being lighter in weight. So the labor also feels easy to carry them when they have to carry to the higher story for making a large story building. And also they feel ease of construction for carrying them, or if they have to break it into the two piece for the brick wall constructions. So these are few of the advantage from the labor side. And also the transportation cost, because it is being lighter in weight, the transportation cost also gets reduces. And also the this Wricks is in dark gray color that excites more as something that different from the what we have been seeing as a only the red clay brick. So architects and few of the builders are also more interested towards its dark gray color, which is something unique and different. But we can also change it colors if there is demand. But so far we haven't got any demand for changing its color to the other like clay, like similar to the red color or different like or other colors like blue or green.
So, what are the other problems that you're solving through the innovation of Wricks?
So if we see that half of the India is surrounded with the sea water or it's near the ocean. So in this area, environment is bit moisturous, and also it faces a lot of rain. It comes under the tropical areas. So in this area, the bricks can solve the additional issue of water leakage, dampness, and efflorescence, due to which the common people end up spending a lot of amount into the maintenance and repairment. So bricks being damp proof and waterproof, it saves all those issues. And or also when the clay bricks absorbs the water, it gives the bad odor and it leads to the fungal growth, and that again leads to the breathing issue of the occupant. So these are the few of the issues that bricks is solving as well.
And I know when we spoke earlier, we were talking about the fact that the Wricks are actually truly circular, aren't they?
Once the bricks demolishes, like after 100 or 200 years, if person has to demolish his building, so these bricks can again be recycled into again the building products like bricks and paver blocks, but it may not have the same properties as the previous one, but it can be used for the building secondary structures like boundary walls, partition walls, or in the parking area. So this way we are again recycling it and increasing its lifeline into the construction industry.
So it's wonderful also to see that you're receiving recognition for your innovation and entrepreneurship. Can you share some of the highlights that both yourself and the business have enjoyed?
So we were the part of UNDP Women Climate Champion Impact Team program. We were given help in the with the business mentoring and advisory, and we were also introduced to the IMM, which means the Impact Measurement and Management program, and we were also being provided with the different tools that help us with our business strategies. And this was a 6 month program, which is now ending in the month of December. I was also the winner of Uplink World Economic Forum for the Global Plastic Innovation Network Challenge. The program is aimed to identify the companies across the countries who are solving the plastic waste problem and help them creating awareness on this global platform. And I was last year I was also the winner of Asia Pacific Housing Challenge under the Sustainable Consumption Production Award, which was given by the Habitat for Humanity and Switch Asia. And this year, I was also the first runner up and champion of a Thai global pitch competition where more than 1,400 entrepreneurs participated across 30 countries. So we have been getting a lot of global recognition by the prominent organizations such as like UNDP, World Economic Forum, Habitat for Humanity, Switch Asia, and a lot more.
That's fantastic, and in such a short time as well, just a few short years. So, congratulations. So, with such great recognition for the Rix product already, are there plans for you to expand to other building materials and/or other markets?
Yes, so Bricks is the first focused product that we are focusing to validate and successfully launch into the mainstream market of India. And after this, we are also planning to launch the paver blocks, the holo bricks, and also the wall panels in next 6 to 12 months. And these are into the product portfolio which we have already started, but yeah, needs to do pilot testing and then launch into the market. Other than Indian market, we are also focusing on the our neighborhood countries and also the European market to begin with. We are also trying to figure out what are the certifications that we would require to tap into this market, because it's something which is very closer to our geographies. And given their awareness and the policies that the government is coming up with, we feel that could be a potential market for us to expand.
Most definitely a good opportunity to expand. So can you share with us some project examples in India of where Wricks are being used right now?
Yeah, so we have currently three projects lined down that we are expected to complete by the end of December. So two projects we will be doing in our city where our headquarters are based out. From that two, one is for the residential and one is for building museum or auditorium. And these both projects are focused on the green building and sustainable construction practices. And also the other project that we are planning to do is in Bangalore. So these are the three projects, and the total unit is around 10,000 units for 10,000 bricks for completing these three projects.
So another key attraction to Wricks, I imagine, is that they are cheaper than traditional bricks. How is it that you can produce a more environmentally friendly brick, a brick that's stronger, lighter weight, and more waterproof, but at a less expensive rate?
It can be done when we with its less weight. So being so bricks contributes to the major part of any construction projects, and when the weight of a bricks reduced, the whole structural weight gets reduced. And when the structural weights reduce, the amount of concrete, cement, and reinforcement requires also gets reduced. How we are also able to reduce its cement requirement or other sand or other water requirement. So one way is that, and also the labor, they should also feel ease for construction. That also increases their working efficiency, and they'll be able to, make it quicker. So that way, it also saves the cost and time for the people. And also, given that the government subsidies in Indian market that are coming up with for the green building, it provides them additional 5 to 10% floor area ratios and tax and benefits on the tax and subsidies. So, given these all benefits, we feel that any customer or builders would be more inclined of utilizing these products into their project. It's also a new initiative towards a green building and sustainable, construction practices in India.
And I imagine if you're using less cement and mortar products in order to construct with using bricks, it would be the case also that bricks themselves emit less emissions.
Clay bricks is responsible for the emission of around 400 grams of carbon emission. So one unit is responsible for emission of 400 grams alone. And you can imagine that last year India manufactured around 260 billion units. So if you multiply 260 billion to zero point 0.4 grams, that will be a huge amount of tonnage into the carbon emission. So that is again the other problem, that you replace clay bricks with the other, like such as our bricks, would be able to solve this issue as well.
Have you done the calculation on if you manufactured the same amount of bricks as Ricks, what the carbon emission would be?
Yes, we would have done a rough estimate. By 2026. We are planning to sell 760 millions of units, and that would be able to reduce the carbon emission by around 34,000 tonnage of carbon emission, which we call TCO2. Right. So that much amount of carbon emission that we are, forecasted to reduce in next 3-4 years.
That's quite incredible. So you're clearly personally passionate about solving some of the challenges for the built environment. What are some of the other great innovations you are seeing yourself out of India in your industry?
So in my industry, I think I'm seeing carbon capturing and reducing again interesting sector, because into the construction industry there's a lot of carbon emission that is being produced and generated. So if you able to reduce it, capture it, it's gonna be a great again initiative, and also will solve a great problem. And also given that this carbon credits a new market segment, which has a value of around $30 to $40 per ton, we see that it can be a new potential market for capturing carbon or reducing carbon. And we're also trying to tap into this place. We would definitely do in near future. So this is something that I'm seeing, and it really excites me that something coming up for capturing carbon and how you can mitigate it and reduce it from the environment.
That's great. So with so much innovation happening for the built environment in India, when you think future about the industry, what is it that excites you the most?
I think construction industry is never going to stop, especially in developing countries like ours. With urbanization and development, it's always going to be in demand, and but it is also one of the major cause of carbon emission. I recently heard in COP27 that construction industry alone contribute to 20 to 30% of the carbon emission, and it's different segments like cement industry or brick industry which contributes to 8% and 9% of the carbon emission. We feel that there is a lot of innovation that is required. It is one of the traditional industry where we have absorbed no innovation or technology upgradation has been done in recent years. So we feel that there's a huge scope of innovation and technology to come into this sector, and also it's going to be ever demanding industry that not only in India but also like in a global market, because it's the basic requirement of any person to have a roof on his head, right? So that's what I feel.
Well, Kunjpreet, we certainly congratulate you on your achievements to date, and we look forward to hearing more about your continued success as you expand both your products and your markets. And we thank you for joining us on the VinZero Think Future podcast.
Thank you so much, Anthea, for having me.
This podcast was brought to you by VinZero. VinZero help the AEC and manufacturing industries keep pace with digital change and achieve their technological and sustainability leadership goals. VinZero is a company that cares about creating and building a better world. Together, we are working with industry and environmental experts, providing forums and platforms through our VinZero Think community to create conversations that matter to our future generations. We invite you to join in the conversation and participate in our Think community. Like and subscribe to Think Future to stay up to date with the latest innovations and conversations as we take AEC and manufacturing around the world closer to zero. You can download our podcasts at vinzero.com or from your favourite podcast platform. From VinZero Think Future, thanks for listening.